Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Hope you can all hear me and see me. Here we are again. It's my March live stream. Even though the last one was in March because I was late doing my February one. But yes, here we are. Another thoroughly unprepared hour of whatever we want to talk about, basically. Hello to everybody who is here already. Fair few of you. There's been a few messages flying around, so let's just, before we get on to the business of the evening, let's see if there's anything going on in the chat there. I've got a few things I want to talk about, but as always, if you've got anything you want to talk about, let me know and we will try and get to it. So, Oliver, I hope you're still here, because it was either this or a Denny Sywell interview, apparently. Is that the Paul or Nothing one? I don't know, because I know that Denny's been doing some interviews tonight, so I'd be interested to know if he's still here. So a couple songs I got you interested in, folk, did I? You've got the Nick Drake album, Pink Moon, coming, excellent. That is a fantastic album. There's no such thing as a bad Nick Drake album. They are all utter classics. Pink Moon was actually the first piece of vinyl I bought when I got back into vinyl a few years ago. So when I bought my first turntable for 30 years, 3 years ago, you could pick a record to have, and I chose Pink Moon, Nick Drake. There you go. Yeah, Crazy for Beatles has been asking about, has been mentioning about the Ram half-speed remaster. What a exciting bit of news that was today. We knew it was going to come pretty soon. I don't think we knew it was necessarily going to be today, but that was exciting. So I've got some. We'll certainly talk about that as we go through. Now I have to get a turntable. It would help if you want to play it. Interested to learn more about half speed versus regular mastering. So yes, we'll have a chat about that as we go through. No problem at all. What else have we got coming through? John, a couple of songs also getting a little sick of no All Things Must Pass news. Yes, I don't think you're the only one. John says after told it was coming in June, but no news. Again, I'll have a bit of a chat about that. I ain't got loads to say on it, but there's some little bits and pieces flying around, but nothing massive at the moment. But we'll have a chat about that anyway as we go through. Can anybody tell me how England are getting on in the football? I did not realise when I scheduled this. I'm just totally out of touch with the World Cup qualifiers that have been this week. So if anybody can let me know how England are getting on, that would be appreciated. And thank you to anybody who's... Surely there's not people missing the England match for this rubbish that I put out, is there? We will see. Andrew Galvin, hi, hope you're well. Thanks to your shout-outs on Twitter. I got a cheap Tug of War box set and a Ram half-speed master, so thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I saw that they were doing a bit of a bargain on the old Tug of War and Pipes of Peace box sets the other day, so put a bit of a message out there. So hopefully some people have jumped on that. So hi everybody who's saying hello, Sheffield and beyond. I want to have a chat with you because I'm hopefully going to be in Sheffield in a couple of weeks' time for the snooker, going to the Crucible for the World Snooker, which is one of my yearly highlights that I love to do. And I want to do a bit of record shopping while I'm there. So if you know of any good record shops, if you could let me know in the Sheffield city centre area, that would be awesome. Hi everybody, hi Anthony. Anthony, well done. You won my little Twitter quiz yesterday, didn't you? I just put a question out. I was listening to an album yesterday and it dawned on me as I was listening to it that this album I was listening to was the only post-Beatles solo album that was in our house as I was growing up. It was the only one that my mum and dad had. And so I put a bit of a quiz out there on Twitter, like can anybody guess what it is? And there was about 80 million wrong answers, and Anthony eventually got the right answer. It was somewhere in England, because if you're going to have one post-Beatles solo album in the house, why wouldn't it be somewhere in England? It's the obvious one, isn't it? Certainly isn't, but that's the one that we had anyway. I don't think it ever got played, to be honest, to my knowledge. Hello everybody. Sean asks a good question here. Is the Ram 50th anniversary edition limited? Do I need to order now to get a copy, or can I wait until payday? I really wish we knew the answer to that. What does limited mean? Does it mean it's going to sell out in the next hour? Or does it mean that it's still going to be on sale in 3 years' time? We ain't got a clue. It does say limited, but I guess everything. To be honest, everything's limited now, isn't it? There isn't an unlimited supply of anything, so it's just really hard to know what that word means now. But the thing is, there'll be. I know it's not a record store day purchase, and if it was, people would be all over it on eBay for definite. But you know, if it does sell out, there's going to be people selling it secondhand. But we don't know. We don't know. Hi from Richmond, Michael. How are you doing? You all right? Talk about the box and your review. That must be Plastic Ono Band. Well, yeah, we'll talk about Plastic Ono Band. I've got that box behind me. I've got the vinyl down here. I've got the vinyl there. Actually, before we get onto talking about Plastic Ono Band later, I'm going to tell you something now that I just found out about 10-15 minutes ago, direct from the camp that are putting this out. I got told in an email about 10 minutes ago that this is a half-speed vinyl. They haven't publicised that, but I think, to be honest, that people would want to know that, because I think that's a great selling point. But the new Plastic Ono Band vinyl is a half-speed recording, which I think is great news. So if anybody was wondering about that, and I know some people will be, then there you go. You heard it here first, folks. But yeah, I'll talk about the box and my review and all that. We will definitely get onto that. Yeah, definitely. What else have I got from Yoko? Well, everybody else has been showing the secret thing that they got from Yoko, and I've tried not to talk about it too much, but yeah, there you go. Because I thought it was a secret, so I didn't mention it in my review. Scotland are 2 up. Mark the date in your calendars. Wow. What have we got? Hi P, how are you doing? It isn't limited, Ram Half Speed. You can order it at any shops. I did see the word limited on something. Let me just see if I can see. Right, I'm going to show you this now. Here you go. This is from the shopuk.paulmccartney.com website. To celebrate the 50th anniversary of Paul and Linda McCartney's 1971 masterpiece Ram, the album will be reissued May 14th, 2021 as a limited edition half-speed mastered vinyl pressing via UME. But it doesn't say limited to what. I mean, it could be 10,000, it could be 100,000 and never sell out. We don't know. I've ordered mine on UDiscover tonight. So we'll see whether it ever sells out or not. I don't know. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Pressing the wrong buttons there, folks. Yes. So yeah, it is kind of limited, but we don't know much. Robert, hi Andrew. It looks like you're running out of shelf space for all the Beatles and solo Beatles sets coming out. I am absolutely running out of shelf space. Things are in hand to try and fix that situation. Might not come into effect for another 2 or 3 months, but I'm not going to be in this room forever. I'm going to be in a bigger room. Might not even be in this house. Might not even be in this city. We will see. But I won't be here much longer. What do I think about Beck's Find My Way? So we've had 2 songs, haven't we, so far? We've had Find My Way by Beck, but it's kind of a Beck. It's with Paul, isn't it? It's like we kind of said when I did a video on the day that it was announced, and I was sort of trying to pick apart the details of the announcement, and it looked like those that didn't have anything in brackets afterwards looked like there were straight cover versions. And for example, Dominic Fike, Kiss of Venus, and that seems to be the case. It's a straight cover version. Paul isn't on there. If it says featuring Beck or featuring or whoever, it looks like that's maybe a bit of a collaboration, maybe taking some of the original master tapes or alternate versions or whatever and mixing it with. So that one with Beck looks like it's Beck and Paul. And then you've got the ones that are remixes, where like the Damon Albarn one, where it's probably a remix of the song. So it's going to be mainly Paul that you hear. So the Beck one, of the Beck and the Dominic Fike, I think I prefer the Dominic Fike one so far. But I've only heard the Beck one once, actually, the Find My Way. And I think I want to reserve my judgment a bit more until I hear it in the context of the full album, because I think on its own it doesn't wow me, but maybe in the context of the album it'll fit in. And sometimes songs can be like that, can't they? You might not necessarily pick it out on its own, but when you listen to an album, it's like it's a real nice part of that album. So we'll see. We will see. Canadian Stud Muffin did get a copy indeed, and I know he's got his vinyl as well. His video went live for that, didn't it? Just recently, so yeah, that was good. I'm gonna skip down to a bit further down the list. If I've missed your comment out, post it again. But I don't want to get too far away from the end of the list, the most recent stuff. Otherwise, I'm answering stuff that was asked several minutes ago, and I'd rather keep it quite current. So I'm gonna go down. Mark Taylor. Here we go. Andrew, when is your guess that All Things Must Pass is coming out? Okay, so this is just my opinion, folks. I don't have any inside knowledge of this at all. I expect that at the moment, in terms of major releases, the path is cleared for John, Plastic Ono Band. Other things that are happening, like 3 Imagined and the Ram Half Speed, they're kind of, I don't think they get in the way. They're great, they're exciting, but they're not the major releases. But something like Plastic Ono Band, that's a major release, and I reckon that John's probably got this time reserved for that. So I'm hoping, and just my opinion, that once Plastic Ono Band is out and had maybe at least a week of being released, and its moment in the sun, let's get it announced then. So let's say maybe towards the back end of April, if it could get released. It could be out in June. So I'm still hopeful that June could be All Things Must Pass. That might turn out to be complete and utter nonsense, but we'll see. That's my hope at the moment. We will see. Maxwell, any thoughts on the next McCartney archive? What and when? Well, I did this video in January that it was like this is what I think we might get during the year, but again, it was all speculation. And it's been pretty good so far. It had Plastic Ono Band first. It had All Things Must Pass. I kind of said maybe April. It's going to be a bit later than that. And then it said Ram Half Speedmaster. So that's been pretty good. I did, and I think I might have been a bit optimistic here. I think it might fall flat on its face with the Paul McCartney archive, because I put maybe about July, and I don't really feel it. I'm not feeling it in here now that that's going to happen. I'd be feeling if it does happen, I'll tell you that, but I really don't. I just can't see it at the moment. So maybe the end of the year, but I won't be surprised if we don't get one this year. So we will see. We will see. Right, what else have we got? Sheffield and Beyond. Andrew, have you listened to all of Dylan 1970? Thoughts? Well, just so happened to have it here. That was handy, wasn't it? I was kind of predicting what I might get asked about tonight. I have not yet listened to the third disc. Or have I? No, I haven't. I haven't listened to the third disc yet. There's a lot of stuff on here. And do you know what? If it didn't have those words there with special guest George Harrison, I don't think I would know that he's on here. I mean, I'd probably guess from some of the track titles of him doing some of the things like If Not For You, for example. But, you know, George isn't prominent, with his voice anyway. I'm sure he is on guitar, but, you know, it could be one of many people playing guitar. So I do enjoy it. It is good. It's quite relaxed. It's kind of, in terms of Dylan, if you think of, it's a little bit blonde on blonde, but it's more sort of, talking in terms of style here, it's got that laid back kind of John Wesley Harding, Nashville Skyline, New Morning kind of era, which, you know, was very laid back stuff. It's all that kind of things on here. So yeah, it's good, but I've still got disc 3 to listen to, but that's the reason why it's out, as a reminder to listen to it. But I'll tell you what, I've been listening to a lot more. Is that Richard B. Starkey? This is the first Ringo album I've ever bought on release day, surprisingly. But I'm enjoying this, because when I first heard Here's to the Nights, I think I heard it. It was like the first song released ages ago, wasn't it? I thought, I didn't like it at all. I thought, oh my God. But I'm quite warming to it now. I quite enjoy it. and Teach Me to Tango's quite fun, and it's, yeah, there's like quite a reggae tinged song on here as well, so I'm quite enjoying that at the moment. Oh, my throat already, guys. I'm going to have to crack open a beer soon, I think. What sessions from the 3 deluxe Beatles box sets is your preferred choice, says Ryan? It's got to be the White Album, I think, because the ones that I was most excited for was Sgt. Pepper, just because it's so mythical. But White Album, the Isha demos, just so legendary. And then things like the Helter Skelter. There's one of the Helter Skelter takes that sounds just like Buzzcocks. And hearing that Let It Be that's on there, the fact that I didn't know they did Let It Be during the White Album session, so things like that. I think probably the White Album I will go for. Luke says, are you planning on getting the new Weller album, Andrew? I might do. What's it called? It's called some Pop. I can't remember the name of it now, but it looks like sounds like it might be a bit more upbeat than the stuff he's been doing. I think the last album that I sort of really enjoyed of his was Saturn's Pattern. And since then, it's been a bit... I want a bit of oomph from Weller, because he's... But it's been a bit too mellow for my liking just lately. So I'm hoping it's got a bit of... something a bit more upbeat would be good. We will see. Andrew, do you think God really had at least 42 takes? Probably. I mean, it doesn't mean that they've gone through the whole thing 42 times. I mean, sometimes it might just be they started the first 20 seconds and it broke down. But you can hear... not just with what's on this set, but with some of the other bootlegs that has been in the past as well. It progressed a heck of a lot from what it started out as to what it ended up as. And yeah, I can easily see it taking that many kind of takes. So yeah, definitely. Hi, Victor Schwartzman. If Plastic Ono Band is half-speed mastered, it's great. Yeah, I've been told that from the most official source you can get, who you're going to get a message off. Let's put it like that. 5 minutes before this live stream started, I got a message to say it is half speed, but they didn't publicise it. I'm not sure why they didn't publicise it, because I would have done personally. It should be written on the dead wax. Can you verify it? I'm curious. Oh. Sorry about my squeaky chair, folks. Well, let's have a look, shall we? What am I looking for, Victor, on the dead wax? Tell me, what is it going to say? Let me go to the main album. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be on the dead wax, does it? It could be half-speed mastered with something not in there. But let's... I'll see if I can see something. So there's a code number there. But, you know, whether it says it or not, the confirmation I've had couldn't be any more clear. It is half-speed mastered, so it doesn't say in the dead wax. There's like a serial code number. That's all. But take it from me, I wouldn't have got told what I just got told if it wasn't the case. So, yeah. What have we got? A couple songs. Hey Andrew, have you seen Josh Turner on YouTube? Yes, I have. He's fantastic, and he's got a band with him. If anybody, not now, folks, later, if you feel like looking up Josh Turner, he does some stuff on his own, and he does some stuff with. He's just a young lad. He's probably in his early 20s, I think. And he's got a band that he's in, and they do Beatles songs brilliantly. They've done some fantastic Beach Boys, ABBA. He did a tutorial years ago on how Nick Drake gets his sound from his guitars, and he goes into loads of detail about even like what type of strings he must have on, how long Nick Drake's fingernails must have been, whereabouts on the string he would have been plucking. It's a fantastic video. So yeah, Josh Turner is really good, really good. Yeah. So Monco House, do you listen to any T-Rex? Not lots. But I did hear my favourite T-Rex song last week, which is Cosmic Dancer. I think that's a brilliant song. And wasn't the last song on Sean Lennon's Friendly Fire? That was a T-Rex cover, wasn't it? Would I Be the One? Which I think must be an obscure T-Rex song, but I'm pretty sure it was a T-Rex song. Somebody let me know if you think I'm either right or wrong on that, because I'm not absolutely certain. But yeah, I think Would I Be the One on Friendly Fire's Sean's album, I think, is a T-Rex cover. Right, where are we? Any idea why Mark Lewisohn has those tapes and not Apple? I don't think Mark Lewisohn owns the tapes. I presume this is the tapes of this September 1969 meeting that you're talking about. I presume where they were talking about what they were going to do next, the next album. You know, whereas official Beatles legend has it that they knew that Abbey Road was going to be the last album. You know, there's Ringo's on Anthology, isn't it, going there? You know, we weren't sitting there going, last album, last song, last take. But they kind of knew it was the last album. And then this September 69 tape, they're talking about what they're going to do next. So I think a copy of it, I think Mark Lewisohn had got hold of a copy of it, or part of it had been published. But then he got kind of shut down when he went on that Hornsey Road tour. That Hornsey Road tour was fantastic. I went to see that, and it's an unbelievable 2 or 3 hours. I think it was supposed to be 2 hours and ended up 3, the show that I was at. But absolutely fantastic. And yeah, he played a little portion of... Did he play a little portion of the tape? He did. But he wanted to play a lot more, and he'd had... he'd had the big finger come down from the sky saying, "No, you are not playing that tape." Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? I'm going to do quiz question time. Keep some comments coming. I'll get to them. But, you know, I always like to do a little quiz. Tonight's first question is, what's the name of the most recent classical album that Paul McCartney released? Let's see who gets there first. It'll be a little while, because I think there's about a 30-second delay between when I say something and you saying it. So let's see, Paul McCartney's most recent classical album. What was it? Right, there we go. Right, what have we got? George Irvin says, "Go Ringo, great guitar on new CD." I was surprised by how good it sounds as well, but then I looked in the credits, and it all became clear, because it is mastered by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman Mastering. Well, you ain't getting any better than that. So that kind of explained a lot to me about why it sounds good right from the very first second when it comes in. We've got right answers coming in, and everybody's right, of course they are. It's an easy question, but who was first? Who's got the best internet connection on this live stream tonight? It's a couple songs, Ocean's Kingdom. There you go, Ocean's Kingdom. I was very pleasantly surprised when I bought this CD, because what I didn't know until I opened it up was it came with a download card for a live performance. This card offers you free access to the audio download, plus an exclusive live recording of the world premiere gala performance in New York. So that was a nice little surprise that I wasn't expecting when I got that. Can I just ask, I assume you can all hear me okay tonight. Sometimes I've had comments saying that I'm a bit quiet, but hopefully this is okay. I've invested in some mixing desk technology here, so it should all sound better than what it has done previously. I think I was a bit quiet before. Yes. Oh, P, you were wrong. You went for Ecce Cor Meum. Yeah, that was the one before this, wasn't it? Yes, very good. There you go. As you were. Continue. Keep your questions coming through, folks. Keep your questions coming through. I'm going to answer a question, actually, that came through on Twitter. There. When I advertised this live stream, I said, if anybody's got any questions, send them through. And I got a couple of things. Mike Scott, can you I thought this was a good question. This really got me thinking. Can you remember the final Beatles track you heard, not including outtakes, remixes, or real love? So of the Beatles core catalogue, what was the last song I ever got to hear? I thought, flipping heck, that's a good question. And so I had to think about it. I've come prepared. Mike, if you're around. Are you around? I've come prepared. I haven't got one answer for you, but I've limited it to one of probably 3. Actually, get rid of that one. So in 1990, I bought my first CD player. I already knew some of the Beatles albums, and I'd already bought a few of them on tape, but then I bought everything else on CD. The last 3 that I bought on CD was these three, and these are the actual CDs I bought in 1990. I've still got them, and so I can't remember what order it was. So it'd be either Baby You're a Rich Man, because I already knew All You Need Is Love, or it would be I'll Be Back, because I don't think I would have known that until I got the album, or it would be You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. So it's one of those three, Mike. But that was a good question. It got me thinking. Yes. RoboTube download card that works in a Mac product. Are you sure it actually works? Do you know, I've only once had a problem. I nearly said never, then I remembered a problem. I've only once had a problem with a McCartney download, and the support, what was it? It used to be that Top Spin or something, one of the archives, and they were brilliant and they sorted me out. I genuinely don't have a problem with these downloads. So yeah, there you go. Hi Mark Castley, hi Andrew. Did you like Bob Dylan's Rough and Rowdy Ways album? Yeah, so I did a review of it, I think, last year, and it's I like the start of it. It's by about 5 songs in, I'm thinking I want to change a pace here, because it was all sort of slow, and then they upped the pace on one of the songs. I can't remember which one it was, and I really like Key West towards the back of the album, and then Murder Most Foul. It's a bit of an epic, but you got to be in the right frame of mind for it, because my God, it goes on a bit, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a beautiful sounding album as well. I think it's better than the previous 1 or 2 studio albums from Bob, I thought anyway. Hi Ben, how are you doing? Hi all, sorry for being late again. How are you doing? You were going to ask me a question, weren't you, Ben, tonight? I can't remember what it was now. But we had a good chat earlier, and you said you were going to ask... Well, I can't remember what the question was, but ask me that question, Ben. Thank you, George. Andrew, McCartney 2, 40th anniversary. Any thoughts? Interesting point. Yeah, what date did it come out? Let me just have a look. I can find this information relatively quickly, folks, in my iTunes library. It would be... oh, God, it's May 16th, according to that. I don't think... I mean, you might get a Facebook message and a Twitter... a tweet from Paul about it, maybe. But other than that, they're going to be focusing on Ram, aren't they? Will Ram have just come out a couple of days before that? Yeah, Ram will have just come out, so he's going to be focusing on that. I'm sure he'll mention McCartney too, but brilliant album. Love it. Yeah, it's great. Sorry, I just got distracted by reading a couple of messages there that I'm going to come to next. Andrew, do you own any of the Beatles' US albums? Yeah. Let me just point upwards a little bit. Can you see there in between the Mark Lewisohn book and my 24 DVD box set? There's the 2 Capitol sets there, and I don't really listen to them that often. I like the UK albums, they're what was intended, and but I'm glad I've got them, and I do listen to them occasionally. Yeah. England are winning. Excellent, right, good. Beating Poland. It's been a decent start. I'm completely out of touch with international football at the moment. Anthony, do I have the Beach Boys Party Uncovered and Unplugged album? Yeah, oh, do you mean this one? 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves, folks. Do you mean that one? No, I ain't got that. Yeah, I have Beach Boys Party, and what did you say? Unplugged. I ain't got Unplugged. This has got the stacker tracks on. I love Beach Boys stacker tracks, are brilliant, where it's just the vocals only. They're awesome. Yes. God, these floorboards are so noisy. Sheffield and Beyond. Ben, you might want to read this. I was asking about record shops in Sheffield for when we go in a couple of weeks' time. Sheffield really only has 2 city centre record stores, Record Junkie and Bear Tree Records. I will make a note of that when I always have a look through, because I miss so much. Just to let you know, everybody, I always miss so much during these because I can't keep up with it. So I always have a look through later, and I pick up on any comments that I miss. So I do see comments, even if I don't get a chance to read them out. So I'll make a note of that. Thank you when I come back to it. Bear Tree Records and Record Junkie. Cool. Am I doing any more podcasts soon? I haven't got any planned. but I did say, I'm available if Sam wants me for any more. We did the Put It There one, which was great. He's just been, if any of you have seen him on Twitter, well, this is more for those who haven't seen him on Twitter, tonight he's interviewed Denny Sywell. So that's quite a coup for him. So I don't know when we'll get to hear that, hopefully soon. Oh, God, Maxwell, you're right. McCartney 240th anniversary was last year, 1980 to 2020. I got asked the question, and in my blinkered panic mode, because there's a camera facing at me, I didn't do the maths, did I? It's 41st anniversary. You're right. You're absolutely right. Do you think Dylan will tour again? He'll be 80, won't he? Well, I was just talking about this yesterday, about not only Dylan, but McCartney, Ringo, The Who, The Stones, all them kind of people. Are they going to start up again? How many of those will actually, this is done for them as live performers? It'll be interesting to see. Do I think McCartney will tour again? That was the question, wasn't it? Oh no, it was, do you think Dylan will tour again? Sorry. Yeah, probably. I think he probably will. I'm going to open my beer, guys, because my throat's going already. And I saw this. I was really excited. I saw this in a shop the other week. I'd never seen it before. So I'm going to show you that. There's a lighthouse tower there, a very, very hundreds of years old lighthouse tower there. That lighthouse tower is less than 100 metres from where I grew up. And I saw this in a shop and I thought, oh, I've got to get that. And I kept it in the fridge for the last few weeks. Going to crack it open now. I hope it didn't go everywhere. No, we're fine. Cheers, everybody. Right. So, let me get back. Oh, that's got some punch to it. It's a feisty little number. What was the last concert you attended, says Julian? Well, not the answer that first came into mind. The last concert I attended before lockdown started was Supergrass, their reunion tour. So this was 29th of February last year, so it was literally just a couple of weeks or so before lockdown. But I have been to a concert since then. I went to see the Bootleg Beatles in the summer, end of August, I think it was, in a socially distanced environment. It was very good. I did a video, actually. Some of you might have seen it. I went backstage and I interviewed the Bootleg Beatles before the concert, which was great fun. They were brilliant. I really enjoyed them. Their company. That was good. The last concert I went to would be the Bootleg Beatles. And when's the next one I'll be going to? Well, I think the next one I've got planned is Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott, formerly of the Beautiful South. Paul Heaton, formerly of the House Martins. This was supposed to be like a year ago or more, and it's now going to be this October. So that's the only thing I've kind of got booked in. Anthony, you asked me this question on Twitter, didn't you? Do I have a favourite episode of Inside Number 9? So I did have a think about it. Bernie Clifton's dressing room was brilliant. That was the Two Old Entertainers, wasn't it? I'm going to go for the 12 Days of Christine, which is 30 of the best minutes of telly you're going to see, I think. Sheffield and Beyond, Andrew, do you think All Things Must Pass will replicate songs on early takes? Well, there's probably going to be a bit of replication, I would imagine. But hopefully there's going to be so much more besides it. Surely. We'll think. We'll see. Can I play any McCartney 3 songs on my guitar? Only one, Sarah. Only one. And it's the same one I do every time. But that's only because it's the only one I know. I don't mean the only one I know by the Charlatans, but I can do... Always stop when you get a note wrong, because it's going to get even worse from that point onwards. That's about all. I've got the book here, so I do intend to go through this, and I would like to learn that intro to Pretty Boys. That would be good. Lavatory Lil should be easy enough to do. It's just a few barcodes. Seize the Day. I don't think I'll ever be attempting Deep, Deep Feeling on acoustic guitar. Where do you start? Where do you start with that? When Winter Comes, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But this hasn't got tab in it. This is more... God, come on. This is more just sort of chords and piano music, but it hasn't got tab in it. Yeah, When Winter Comes would be a nice one to learn. I was surprised with this as well when this came. This came in that box from Capitol that I got, and it's actually got the album in the back as well. Wasn't expecting. I'm highly considering the Smile Sessions big box set. Says a couple of songs. I know a friend of mine got that a couple of months ago. He got it on a right bag, and it was one of these where Amazon said it was damaged to heck. And it arrived, and there was like nothing wrong with it at all. And I think he loves it. I've only got the 2 or 3 CD version, and I really like that. So, yeah. Martin, thoughts on similar channels, Heaton and Mr. Mayo, I'm thinking. Well, John Heaton is a major reason why I do this. You can blame him. It was watching him, and I don't know if any of you used to watch Rockboy 680 before he stopped making music videos. It was them two, really, that I thought, I don't mind having a go at something like that. John's the master. He's the guy we all... He's the guy I bow to. When I listen to him in full flow, I just think there's no subject that I could talk about any more authority with the same authority that he can. I've bigged him up enough now. Yeah, Joe, Mr. Mayo. Yeah, I've watched a lot of his videos. He's got a great collection, knows what he's talking about. He's got a great channel. I thoroughly recommend them, both of them, absolutely. Yeah. What else have we got? If you do an F sharp minor chord and then D minor, you'll have Deep, Deep Feeling. Do I try it? Let me know if I need to try this. Let me know. If you want me to, I'll have a go. Okay. Am I going to learn a song live on video? That would be quite a challenge. Andrew, what is the big fat... I thought it said belly then. Box set directly underneath Plastic Ono Band and the George. What is the big fat box set? I'm guessing you mean that one there. I'm gonna take a punt that that's the one that you mean. Wipe my hands because I've got condensation from the beer bottle. Kate Bush, remastered, part 1. So. Lovely box set. This is Kate's albums from the Kick Inside through to the Red Shoes. So it's like 78 to 93 or 94 was the Red Shoes. Can't remember exactly which. So yeah, that's lovely. Kate Bush, one of my heroes. I assume that's the one that you mean. How big are the Super Deluxe Edition Lennon boxes compared to the Beatles Super Deluxe boxes? Good question, Inek. So, there's a Lennon. They're all standard. Apart from the thickness. This is thicker than the Imagine and Gimme Some Truth. Let's get the White Album down, shall we? Here you go. You can see the height difference, depth, pretty similar. In fact, the depth that they sit in your shelves, the White Album just needs a little bit more depth. So there you go. I'll put these back later. Right. Andrew. Do you anticipate doing another video on rating McCartney's archive editions? Yes, I think once the next one or two Well, the next one or the two, if they come out two together, once they're out and I know what I think of those, I can update it with those and Flaming Pie, because Flaming Pie hadn't come out when I did my last one. So, yes, the answer to that is yes, but I'm not going to do it until the next lot have been out, I don't think. Liam says, Andrew, do you think Revolver will get the Giles Martin treatment? Absolutely, and it needs it as well. I might upset a few people with that statement. Revolver is, of course, one of the greatest albums ever made, without a shadow of a doubt. But my God, there's so much more that can be teased sonically out of that album than what we currently get on either the mono or the stereo version. So, yeah, I'm sure they will. They've got to do, haven't they? Ruby says Kate Bush is a talented musician. She's a genius, Ruby. She's a genius, I think. Try it, go on. It's just, oh, yeah. Deep, deep feeling. What did you say? F sharp minor and D minor. There's a hole in my guitar. Oh my God. Can I stop punching holes in my guitar? You know that deep, deep feeling you only get when you... Yeah, it is F sharp minor and D minor. There you go. That's all I'm doing to that. You can hear them floorboards. Oh, I'm going to fall through the floor one day, I think. Sheffield and beyond. Sorry, you've asked this a few times, I think, and I've just been busy with other things. Have you seen the US Office? I'll probably say no, really. But I mean, I've seen little clips here and there, but I've never actually sat and properly watched it. I just love the original so much. I just don't know how. I don't know how it would. I don't know how I'd react to it. Yeah. Kate Bush, This Woman's Work, the most beautiful song ever written. It's right up there with them. It's right up there. It would have to be in the discussion, as they say. Absolutely. Yeah. Andrew, have you heard the unreleased ELO song Beatles Forever? It's on YouTube. I don't think I have. Honestly, I don't think I have. To be honest, from what kind of era is that song? I would like to know. Speaking of this is an amazing segue here. Speaking of ELO/Beatles collaborations, I had a question for you all, and you just beautifully led me into it. Thank you. So, this. Does anybody... This is me asking a question that I don't know the answer to, because I'm really, really keen to know the answer to this, and I haven't got a flipping clue. So, this came out in 2015. Yeah, 2015. On the Blu-ray is Real Love, so the Anthology 2-track. But it's a remix. Not only is it a remix, but it is like the most blatant remix. It sounds completely different right from the outset. They never publicised it. They never said that they were doing it. They've never said since that they've done it or why they've done it. And I have absolutely no idea why was there a remix of Real Love in 2015 that is stunningly different from the original. Does anybody know? Because I don't, but I would love to know. If anybody has got a clue about that, please let us know, because I'm pretty baffled by it, to be honest. Lucho, I'll probably get Pipes of Peace Archive Deluxe Edition, but it's kind of expensive. Is it worth it? Well, there was a deal on that on Amazon UK, the one that I was talking about 20 minutes ago, whenever it was. You could get it for just under 70 of our English pounds. And is it worth it? That's kind of down to you, really. I mean, it's worth it to me, but that doesn't mean it's worth it to everybody. It's not the best archive edition. In fact, we were talking about this archive rankings one. I put it down near the bottom, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth buying still. I'd say it's worth it, but there's a really good... It's got one of my favourites, McCartney archive collection sort of outtakes or songs on it, not from the album, and it's the oh god, what's it called? It's so good that I can't remember what it's called. It's Not On. That's it. It's Not On is a really fun song. You could certainly imagine it on press to play, even if it wasn't on Pipes of Peace. So that's really good. Yeah, I'd recommend the Pipes of Peace archive, definitely. Maybe they did it for the 5.1 option, says Victor. Quite possibly. It's just weird how it's not a 5.1 mix of the song as you know it. It's just considerably different, especially the first few seconds. It's like it's different instrumentation. It's just a different song at the start. It's weird. I love it, but I just don't get it. Hi Lee, sorry for being late. You are excused. Have we talked about Ram yet? Well, we kind of have and we haven't. So we've talked about it a little bit, but not as much as I was going to. So let's do that now, shall we? Ram Half Speed Master coming out on, was it I think 14th of May it was, wasn't it? Let me just get this back up on screen. May 14th. Let's just have a read through this blurb and see if there's anything we can learn from this about this release that's coming. Paul's most recent release, the #1 album, McCartney 3, recorded in Rock Down So Return, blah, blah, blah. The electric charm and intimacy of 1970s McCartney and 1971's Ram found Paul redefining his post-Beatles creative identity. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there just about Ram in general. Does it say anything here? It doesn't actually mention anything more about the Half Speed Remaster there. It just talks a bit about Ram. So, yeah, I mean, I've got this ordered, absolutely, because the McCartney one, I've mentioned it a few times, but the one that came out last year, the McCartney one for Record Store Day, I just think it's the best version I've heard by a long way. It sounds absolutely beautiful. The Flaming Pie half-speed remaster that came out for the archive collection sounds phenomenal. The sound quality on a lot of the Plastic Ono Band that we're talking about that we just had confirmed tonight is a half-speed. Sounds great. So I'm hopeful that Ram is going to sound the best I've ever heard it on this. I couldn't find it on Amazon anywhere, so I don't think it's there. It sounds like it's UDiscover or Paul's website. So it's going to be available from those. Hopefully they won't take forever to get it out. We shall see. Liam, you heard a rumour that Double Fantasy is the next John album to get the treatment. I think that is kind of it's rumour, isn't it? I don't know if there's anything official out there or even semi-official. I think it's kind of, if they are doing them in order of any kind of prominence, otherwise, like why would Imagine have been first otherwise? Because it shouldn't really have been done until this year. Shouldn't Imagine really if it was 50th anniversary. But if they are getting the biggest ones out first, then maybe Double Fantasy will come fairly soon in the process. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Ram Half Speed. It should be. I just hope they've done as good a job as they did with McCartney last year. That would be great. What do you think Giles could do for the 1963 albums that were both on 2-track? A new mono mix instead? Well, but again, a new mono mix is only going to work if you can split those separate tracks. And I think I often wonder if is part of the reason why they've held off with those so long is it because they want the technology to be as good as possible to be able to do it? There's this what's that process called? Is it spectral de-analyzing or something? I can't remember what it's called now, but where they can take two things that are baked onto tape together and they can actually sort of split them now fairly successfully. Maybe they're waiting for that to be as good as possible. I don't know. I think they'll do them. I think something will happen with them, but will they do each album individually, or will they do like a yearly set? Like here's a 1963 box and here's a 1964 box. Only time will tell. We'll see. Does Ram have any unreleased tracks or outtakes? Well, outtakes, there's going to be loads of them. We didn't really get any Ram outtakes in the archive collection box, but I'd love to have them. I'd love to have loads of them. There's got to be plenty there. They weren't nailing all those songs on the first attempt. There's going to be a lot of things there. So hopefully one day this will all come out. What else have we got? Yeah, demixing, spectral demixing, something like that, isn't it, Victor? Yeah. A couple of songs. This was a question you posed for me, wasn't it, yesterday? Do I play my 87, 09 mono or 09 stereo Beatles CDs more? Well, these ones that I showed a few minutes ago, they're all the 87 ones. Well, I've got the rest of them up there, but I haven't actually played a 1987 version of the Beatles albums since the 2009 boxes came out. Apart from Help and Rubber Soul, which, because they were kind of the versions that they were remixed, weren't they? So it's 09 really. I tend not to play the CDs much anyway because I've got them all ripped into iTunes, so they're the versions that I'd play. But it was the 09 stereos for years, and then it was only about 3 or 4 years ago when I got the mono box, and I've kind of fairly exclusively played the mono versions since, when I've been doing digital. Apart from the White Album, because I need Ringo to have blisters on his fingers, and he doesn't have them in mono, and that song's just lacking for me if Ringo doesn't do that at the end. So yeah, it's certainly not the 87s, but I do want to go back to them because there's supposed to be all these little things in the 87s that they cleaned up, but they never officially said they'd cleaned up in 09. Like I Want You She's So Heavy, supposedly you can hear John switching his guitar pickups, which, I mean, sounds like the dullest thing in the world, but I'd never heard it, and I could pick the CD from there and play it now and pick up on that, but I've just never done it. So I'll do them at some point. Oh, England won 2-1, right, very good, great, excellent. What else have we got? What's my favourite album from The Fireman, says Julian. Well, I would say at the moment, the one that I'm most likely to pull off the shelf and play, or just bring up in iTunes, is Rush's. I'm really enjoying Rush's over the last year or so. I mean, you've got Electric Arguments is obviously clearly a really good album. Sing the Changes, I think, is just a McCartney classic, whatever album it would have appeared on. Nothing Too Much, Just Out of Sight, it's one of his great modern rockers. But yeah, Rush's is the one that I tend to play more often now. Sheffield and Beyond. Andrew, did you ever see the Bob Dylan film Masked and Anonymous? Apart from the live performances, it's awful. Well, no, I didn't, and now I'm probably not going to. Thank you. No, I don't know that one, to be honest. Sarah says, did I buy McCartney half-speed vinyl for Record Store Day last year? You've kept yours sealed. I did buy it. I unwrapped it straight away, played it straight away, and it's brilliant. It's not always the one that I play, so let me just... 1 second. So that's the half-speed, and that's the archive collection version. So this is the one. This is great. But sometimes, and I still play this, or I probably play this album on average once a month still. Sometimes I'll go back to that just because I want this to be a treat. And if that's the only one I ever play, it sort of ceases to be a treat then, doesn't it? It becomes the norm. So I'll occasionally play this, and then that becomes my treat next time. Sad as it may sound. Yeah. Building up a load of filing again, guys. Anthony, I think Mind Games as well as Walls and Bridges would really benefit from remixes. Yeah, well, the Mind Games remix that came out in the early 2000s is by far my favourite version of the album. It's never going to be my favourite John Lennon album by any stretch. It's never even going to be top 4 or 5 probably. But I Know on that album had never really clicked to me. But when I heard it on the remix, I thought this is a great song, and I really like that song now. I think they're coming. From what I hear, and having, spoken to people who are involved in this, I get the impression that we will get those. So yeah, I think we'll get that. Oh, good night, John. Goodbye. See you later. Thank you for joining. So yeah, I think we'll get them, and it'll be really interesting to see what they do with it. George says, Andrew, where did you get your shelves? I get asked this loads about my shelves. People must really like these shelves. I do like the fact that they're adjustable, so you can move the shelves to wherever you want. I've actually got a load of spare shelves sat down there. These were from Argos, but I don't think they do them anymore. So if people like that kind of shelving, it's probably just a case of Googling and finding the nearest you can get, because I don't think you can get those anymore. But yeah, Argos. There we go. McCartney's a very good album. It's a phenomenally good album. I absolutely love it. Definitely. I've got another question that I keep getting asked, so I'm going to answer it now, because then I can refer people to this video. You see, that's sneaky. That if somebody asks me the question, I say, "Oh, you need to go and look at you need to watch all this live stream." Let me just get me stuff. Right, so I keep getting asked by people, what's the difference in content between, this is the book from the Plastic Ono Band Deluxe Edition coming out in April. What's the difference in content between that and this book that came out late last year? So, this book is more to do with kind of John and Yoko's life around this point and leading up to it, kind of from the time that they met up to and including Plastic Ono Band. So it goes into a lot of detail about them getting together, about doing the bed-ins and the live concerts that the Plastic Ono Band did, and then sort of conceptually the album. This is more to do with the album itself, the recording process, what was going on in the recording sessions, the technical details about this release. Plus, there is a fair bit of crossover. There's always going to be. But this is, if you're interested in John and Yoko's life and what they were up to, it's this one. If you're interested in the Plastic Ono Band album more and how it was put together, then it's this one. So yes, that is my answer on that question, because I've been asked it many times over the last couple of weeks. So there you go. Yes. Hey, Beetle Brad, how you doing? I'm going to... I'd like to talk about Beetle Brad for a moment, who's just joined us. Because I have an apology to make publicly to Beetle Brad. He probably knows where I'm going with this. My McCartney 3 competition that I did a few weeks ago, 267 rolls of the dice, and I announced the winner, Chris. Congratulations, who let me know about a couple of hours ago that he got his package today with the goodies in. Beetle Brad got in touch with me and pointed out correctly that actually he was closer with his guess, and I'd completely missed it. I apologise, Brad, and I hope that your goodies are with you very soon as well. So, because I then had to send out two prizes. Fortunately, I'd been sent enough by Capital that I was able to do that. So, publicly, I am sorry, Brad, for missing your entry. I blame the YouTube search facility. It is terrible, and that's my final answer on that. Oliver, any detail on the primal scream therapy? Yes, there is. There is some in the book with the Plastic Ono Band Deluxe set. I think there's more about it in this one. But yes, there is. Some interesting news here. I had not heard this from Monco House. They are releasing the ultimate mix of Look at Me tomorrow. You will find that interesting. I mentioned in my review that after the first line, so he goes, look at me, what am I supposed to be? And when he does that, it goes into like quite this heavy phase effect that it's kind of there on the original mix of the album, but they've really brought it out on this. So that's really noticeable. And I mentioned in my review, it's a bit like, with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, when you listen to it in mono and John sings about marmalade skies, and in mono the phase effect sort of really is more pronounced than in stereo, and it's that kind of thing. It's much more pronounced on this Ultimate Mix. Gamuza Joe, is that right? This is a very interesting question you're asking here. Do I think they will remix sometime in New York City as well? I wonder what they will do with the cover. Maybe the hype sticker covering the N-word. It is going to be interesting to see what happens, because do I think they'll remix it? Yeah, I think they will. I think just because I imagine that Yoko will not want to skip that, because it was such an important time personally for John. Even if the album isn't as well received as others, I think personally it's like it's John, political John at his peak. I don't think she'll want to skip that period. I don't think Sean will either, but they have got this, you see, they've not worried in the past about that song, but things are changing, aren't they? You can, something that you could have got away with even 2 years ago, now all of a sudden people jump on. So it will be interesting to see what they do with that. I don't think it'll stop them from doing it. Let's put it that. They'll find somewhere, like you say, maybe a strategic sticker might help, so that if it's in the shops. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I think they'll do something for that anyway. We'll see. Martin, this is intriguing me. Tell me what song on Flaming Pie in which Paul sang a John-written melody. I'm not sure. Obviously the title is a John. The words Flaming Pie are John Lennon words, but in terms of melody, I don't know. Is there some melody that it shares with something? I can't think. That's a good question. I don't know the answer. So lyrically, yes, in terms of those two words, but I'm not sure about a melody. Don't know. We will see. Let me know. Mike's got a feeling we'll get Double Fantasy before a lot of the other Lennon Ultimate Album box mixes. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a plan to kind of do what are perceived as the major albums first. Like I say, that might be why they kicked it off with Imagine in 2018, when that wasn't a big anniversary. So if that is the case, what would they do? You'd think maybe Double Fantasy might be next. Maybe Walls and Bridges after that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see, do they now go in order? Or, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Double Fantasy. I think Yoko would like to see Double Fantasy out there. I mean, if I was Yoko, I think I'd want to give myself the best chance of being around for Double Fantasy being out. We'll see. We'll see. There's some nice wishful thinking coming here, Matthew. It would be amazing if we could get deluxe editions of the Ringo and Goodnight Vienna albums. A box that puts them in a collective context could be amazing. Yeah, Ringo just doesn't seem interested though, does he? In that whole concept. I mean, I'm sure he's on board with the Beatles ones, because, it just doesn't seem to be something that he's interested in doing. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Martin hitting the nail on the head here. Jane Asher. Yeah. How she's remained silent for 50 odd years is on the one hand, it's incredible and it's testament to what a classy person she is. But on the other hand, don't we just all want some stories? But she's never going to do it, is she? And she's one classy lady, is Jane Asher, that's for sure. But it'd be nice to hear something. Yeah. Beatle Brad, what do I think of Ringo's EP? We talked about it earlier. Brad, I've got it here. I'm really enjoying it. I would say I've listened to it about 5 times now. And it's just a real nice, easy listen. And I mean easy listen in a nice way. I like the fact that it's only about 20 odd minutes long. It's not a commitment like some albums are. It sounds like Ringo's only ever going to do EPs now, is what he's suggesting. But yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it, definitely. And the new EP as well. Yeah, he's got another one coming out in October, hasn't he? So I'll get that, I'm sure. I don't know anything about it yet. Oh, Brad's getting a lawsuit against me, according to George. I'm hoping that we can settle this out of court, Brad. I'm sure we've sorted it out. Bootleg 16 Infidels pushed back to autumn. Was it? I don't think it was ever actually announced, was it? So I think there's enough stuff competing for my cash this year that I'm not going to worry too much if stuff by Bob gets delayed. I don't think Infidels era is one that I don't really know too much about the Infidels era, to be honest. So it's, but then on the other hand, that's a good thing because it means there's more to learn. So, but I'll certainly be getting that when it comes out. In fairness, Paul has never mentioned Jane either. That is absolutely true. Yeah, he never has. He's talked about. He has mentioned her, but he's never talked about her. I mean, there's interviews where he's talked about living at her house and with her parents in London in the 60s. Of course, that's where he wrote Yesterday, wasn't it? Was when he was living with her parents. He had a bedroom upstairs with a piano in at their house, and that's where he wrote Yesterday. So he's talked about things like that, but yeah, he's not actually talked specifically about Jane, has he? But classy lady. Paul's not releasing any box set this year, right? Well, we don't know. We don't know is the short answer to that. I'm not betting on it at the moment. Ladytron, good question here from Ladytron. Is Paul's Amoeba gig worth getting on vinyl? Never heard it, but is vinyl the best to buy? I'm just going to pull it off the shelf for a second and we'll talk about it. Short answer, yes. I think Paul was in great voice in this concert. It's a great set list. There's the Here Today where he almost breaks down crying during. It's like really emotional. And I just want to show you this because how cool is this? Let me see if I've pulled the right one. There's a 50% chance. Yeah. Look how clear this vinyl is. Look at that. So yeah, absolutely, I would recommend this. Really nice. It's a good sounding album. That's a good album to start off with. So yes, is my answer to that. Well, am I going to... Oh, the World Cups have been mentioned. Will I do a World Cup style video for later solo Beatles albums? Yes, I'm doing more World Cups, absolutely. I just haven't had a chance because in the last few weeks, March got totally thrown by me getting the Plastic Ono Band stuff completely unexpectedly. And therefore I made a load of videos about that otherwise I wouldn't have made. So you might well have had some World Cups by now. But yes, I'm going to do World Cups. I'm always looking for ideas for World Cups. So at any point, anybody, either in chats or in comments on videos, let me know your World Cup ideas. I've had some, and some of them I don't want to do. But there might be the odd one where I think, yeah, I want to do that. I'll be doing more World Cups. I want to do later solo albums. I want to do some Beatles stuff. Might even do some non-Beatles stuff. I might do songs off albums. So yeah, I will be doing more, definitely. Andrew says, Andrew, do you think we'll get a Twin Freaks box set sometime? Loved it during the Macathon, but it's been forgotten. Something's got to come with Twin Freaks because there's like me, there's a lot of people out there who really want that on vinyl, but it's just too expensive and hard to find. So I think it'll either come in the vinyl reissues. That's my guess, is that the next lot or whenever of these vinyl reissues that we haven't had for nearly 2 years now, that Amoeba gig that I just showed, that was in the last lot that we got in July 2019. Yeah, July 2019. We've not had it since then, so I'd love to think that things like Twin Freaks will be in there. So it's got to come at some point because there's people want this for sure. We've got an interesting person joined. Hi Sam, Paul or Nothing has only just joined. We were talking about you earlier. We were mentioning that you've tonight been speaking to Denny Sywell, which sounds really interesting. So You'll see Paul or Nothing in the chats, folks. If you later, again, after, not now, later. If you want to visit his channel, if you've not already seen him, you'll get links to his stuff. He's done I presume it's for a podcast, but he's been interviewing Denny Sywell tonight. That's exciting. Danny says, do I like Dire Straits? Yes. The new half-speed mastered Brothers in Arms is amazing, highly recommended. I've been thinking about it. I've been considering getting it. The only thing that's putting me off, and it might not put me off for long, is just I was reading about it, about how it was originally mixed digitally, 16-bit, so there can never be a high-res version of it. You can get the best version possible, but only from a non-high-res source. So that's the only thing that, I just wish there was a high-res source. But I may well get it. I did my Dire Straits Brothers in Arms vinyl just last week, or at the weekend even. Brilliant album, love it. But yeah, if I see a deal on that, I may well get that as well. I'm getting a lot of ideas for World Cups. I'm not going to go through them all now, but as I said earlier, I do always go through these chats afterwards to pick up on the things that I've missed. So I will see all your ideas, even if I don't get a chance to read them now and read them out. Nicholas, I think we've got some news for you here. Nicholas says, are there plans for Ram Half Speed? It's been announced today. It's official. Paul announced it about 5-6 hours ago. So I've got my order in from You Discover. We talked about that earlier. If you get a chance, if you want to rewind at any point, we were talking about it earlier. Brad says, am I getting the new Splatter? The Splatter vinyl for the 3 Imagined is what I've ordered. That looks really nice. It's such a gamble, I think, what they're doing here. And they must have confidence in the album that it's going to be good, because it's coming out digitally on, when is it, 16th of April, which was going to be the day of Plastic Ono Band. Some nice little coincidences there that I've thought about, which I might come on to in a bit. But it's coming out digitally on the 16th of April, but it's not coming out on vinyl, and it's coming out on CD as well, isn't it, I think, until July. So there's 3 months there. If people don't like it, or if they like it at first and then get bored of it, for them to cancel. And I think that's just such a risk. They must have real confidence that people are going to like this and therefore keep their orders in. Because if it comes out and it's not well received, there's going to be a lot of people cancelling. So that's it's going to be interesting to see. It's a gamble. Victor, what's Victor asking? Do I think there's a chance for the Raw? Oh, I've just scrolled and it's gone. Sorry, Victor, I just scrolled down. Oh, there it is. Do you think there's a chance for the Raw studio mixers, or maybe the demos of Plastic Ono Band, to come out on vinyl for Record Store Day? There's always a chance, but if I was betting, I'd say no. I think they want you to buy this. I think if maybe some of the stuff that's not on the vinyl and that's only on the CDs eventually might come out, but I don't think they'll announce it anytime soon, because then it would take away the demand for the CD box. It's a bit like I've always said about the Wings Over Europe thing. It'll come in, I'm sure eventually you'll be able to buy Wings Over Europe on vinyl as a standalone thing, but to do it now would be crazy when they need demand to be high. When a Back to the Egg and London Town box eventually comes out, you would assume, with a 1979 live concert, they don't want anybody thinking, I can buy that standalone if I wait a year, like they did with Wings Over Europe. They would be absolutely crazy to release Wings Over Europe now on vinyl, I think. Obviously fans want it, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea business-wise for them to do it, I don't think. So, yeah, similar thing with this. They might do it in years to come, but I don't see them doing it now. What else have we got? Brad, I've not got a new Madness LP. I haven't bought a Madness record for 20 years, and that was her greatest hits. I've never actually bought a Madness studio album, would you believe? But maybe I should. Hi Graham, you okay? It was Graham actually who sent me a message earlier who let me know that Ram had been announced. I was busy eating and watching The Chase, and getting a message through. Paul McCartney's just announced a new album. I'm gonna have to go and get on this for a few minutes. and sort all that out. So that was a mad half hour. The American box sets, when you put them in iTunes, you get 3 or more versions of each album. Yeah, so there's the mono and the stereo, isn't there? Is there a third version? I know things like Help and Hard Day's Night, there's the movie soundtrack as well as things, but is there 3 or more versions? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. What else have we got? I'm a Paul man, but have you ever heard another protest song in which the lyricist praises the person he is protesting against? Great Britain, you are tremendous. That's a good question. I don't think I could answer that off the top of my head. Does anybody praises what they are? No. Can't think of one off the top of my head. Give Ireland back to the Irish. That's you see, I thought that Paul might have had a job including that in the wildlife package, because I just thought, is that a message that he's going to want to put out? But it's just there. Like we were talking about sometime in New York City 10 minutes ago, and that particular song, and might they sort of tread around it. It didn't stop Paul putting out a message, a very controversial message of give Ireland back to the Irish. You just put it out there. So maybe that's what John's camp will do as well. Just put it out there and people will have to deal with it if they don't like it. We will see. Sorry, I'm at that point where I'm scrolling down and it just everything disappears. So I did see a question about Dylan albums that somebody asked, favourite Dylan albums, but then it disappeared. So let me know what it was. So I'm back down towards the bottom. Danny says, am I into Neil Young? He just released a great acoustic concert from 71 called Young Shakespeare. Right. Yes, I did listen to... 1 second. Oh my God. Come on. It was only about 2 or 3 nights ago that I played this. One of the best sounding records that I've got. It sounds absolutely brilliant, which you kind of expect a Neil Young album to sound. But I wouldn't say... I'm not a big Neil Young fan. This is the only Neil Young studio album I own, actually. So I don't know about that 1971 one. There's a late 60s one. What is it? Again, I've got it in iTunes. Let me just pull it up for a second, because there's a really good. Where is it? It was like a live version of something. Sugar Mountain. And it's like, that was from some like late 60s live session. Sugar Mountain is brilliant. But I've not really got any Neil Young live stuff other than that. Yeah, so The Chase is a very good programme, Ruby. It certainly is. I'm trying to get on it. I went for an audition a while back and I nearly got on it. And then that expired and I've applied again. So I'm trying to get on it. That would be great if I could. That'd be great fun. What else have we got? Oh, here we go. Is that Bob Dylan question? What would you say are the best Bob Dylan albums for a newbie Dylan fan? I think probably I'd want to pick something from 2 or 3 different eras. So I would probably say, and if you ask 20 people, you're going to get 20 different answers to this. So there's no real right or wrong. But for an early album, I would say, I mean, personally, I love the debut album, but I'm in a minority there, I know. So I would say either the Freewheeling or maybe The Times They Are A-Changing mono version is great. And then you've got things like Boots of Spanish Leather on there. I think there's Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll on there as well, I think. Then I'd say definitely Blood on the Tracks. And then I'd go for something a bit more recent. I say a bit more recent. It's still over 30 years old. Oh Mercy. That would be a good one. And then maybe something like Modern Times from 2005. That would be a good selection across eras, I think, of good albums. So that's probably what I'd do. Anthony says, do I prefer the Russian album or Run Devil Run? Well, everybody else, you type your answers, RDR or Russian. If you can, let's get a straw poll going. I'm going to say Run Devil Run. Overall, Run Devil Run's just got more energy. I think it's more rock and roll. Paul's feeling it a bit more. I think he needed to get it out of his system. I've often said, I think Paul and John, both of them, to be fair, had a kind of they fell into rock and roll music, their favourite rock and roll music at times when they needed to. So with Paul, I think the Russian album, it had a few critical disasters during the early 80s, and it was his way maybe of getting back to the kind of music that he loved, and it gave him a chance to rock out a bit, and I think that planted the seed of him playing live again. And then Run Devil Run, obviously Linda had passed away and he needed to get back into it, and it was something that he needed at that time. So I'm going to go Run Devil Run, I think. We've got a few votes coming through. Run Devil Run, Run Devil Run, Run Devil Run, Run Devil. I think Run Devil Run's winning, guys. Chobber, says Julian. I think Run Devil Run overall is winning here. Oliver says Run Devil Run has Paul's best song. You are going to say No Other Baby, I think there. I think that's what you're going to say. We'll see. I don't hear your comments, I read them. Somebody said Desire for Dylan. Where's that gone? Yeah, Desire. That would be a good one. You've got some great songs on there. Hurricane, Sarah, One More Cup of Coffee, Romance in Durango's on there, I think, isn't it? That would be good. Yeah, Oliver, No Other Baby. I thought that's what you were going to say. It is a fantastic song. Yeah. Rob says, have I seen the Beatles' Love Cirque du Soleil show in Vegas? I haven't seen it. I've never been to Vegas, but I've seen that. £3.74. I waited until it was on sale. I didn't buy it on day of release. I probably need to go back and watch this again, actually, because I don't think I've seen it since I first got it. Yeah. I mean, if they ever brought it over to England, we've got a nice arena just down the road. Bring it there. I'll go and see it. I'd love a Love 2 in terms of an album, because the Love album I think is absolutely fantastic. It's about as much fun as you can have. It's brilliant. So I would love a second Love album. There'd have to be a reason for them to do it. I don't think they're going to just do it for no reason, but I would love that. Oh, Graham's asking us a question here. If you walked into your music room and had to play one single song, what would it be? I don't know. I assume I can crank the volume up here. I can carve it loud. What am I going to... I've got... How many songs have I got in my iTunes library here to choose from? This is going to be... I've got 25,906 songs. And then everything that's on vinyl. I don't know. I can't answer that. Sorry, Graham. That's just too difficult. Yeah. Which it's 10:20. How did that happen? I was only supposed to be here till 10 o'clock. Wow, okay. I'll start thinking about... I was going to read you something, actually. It might not be as boring as it sounds. I was looking at this earlier. The Complete Beatles Chronicle, Mark Lewisohn. And I was looking for an On This Day, March 31st. And the most interesting March 31st Beatles thing I could find was 1964. And I thought I just wanted to read you a couple of paragraphs. So, 1964. You can probably see where this is heading from that photograph. So this is what happened on this day 57 years ago. This was perhaps the most exciting and rewarding day's work on a hard day's night. The TV performance that was the climax of the film. It was shot on this day at the Scala Theatre before an audience of 350 screaming fans. Union rules dictating that each person, even though thousands would have gladly done it for nothing, had to be paid for the pleasure of screaming at the Beatles. They had to pay every one of those audience members to be there. Union rules. Among these 350 was a 13-year-old child actor named Phil Collins, later to achieve worldwide fame of his own with Genesis and as a solo musician. There you go, that's on this day, folks, 57 years ago. The Beatles' Hard Day's Night. There we go. Yes, right. There is some interesting stuff coming through here. I think we'll do that, shall we? Because some people are getting a bit fruity for my liking. No need. Oliver says, how did I guess that you would say No Other Baby? Just it was... I think if you're going to make that bold a claim about a song on Run Devil Run, I think there's only that song that stands up to any scrutiny. Even though there's a lot of great songs on there, that's the only one where I think you could actually make that claim, potentially. Beatle Brad. Andrew, I went to where Paul did the front cover of Run Devil Run and did a video of the drugstore for my video. Beatle Brad, do you remember the number? You number all your videos, don't you? Do you remember what number it is? Because I'd like to go and have a look at that video. Is it near where you live, or did you happen to be visiting somewhere and that's where it was? Which reminds me of something, actually. I'm going to let you into a little bit of upcoming news while you're all here. Hi, Sam, you okay? So I've mentioned this before, but I'm actually kind of in a position where I can do something about this fairly soon. So I've mentioned that if you think of the Beatles for the benefit of Mr. Kite, the Hendersons will all be there late of Pablo Fanky's fair. I've mentioned this before, but Pablo Fanky was a real person whose grave is just down the road from where I live. I can walk there. I could walk there now if I wanted to. I'd probably get mugged on the way because it's a bit late, but... So I'm going to go and I'm going to tell the story of Pablo Fanky and go and visit his grave for a video, which is a bit weird when I say it out loud. But and the other thing that I mentioned a year ago, but then lockdown completely scuppered this, is that there is some confusion out there officially in certain books and videos and even with the venue itself about some of the events that happened on Paul McCartney's 1972 university tour, the Wings University tour. And again, I'm within walking distance of the venues where certain things did or didn't happen that have been completely misreported, and I'm going to go do a video on it. I've managed to speak to some people who were there who've clarified exactly what did happen on that tour and what didn't happen, and I'm going to do a video on that because there's some false information out there in official books about the Paul McCartney 1972 university tour. So I'm going to do that because I now know that I can get into the venues that I need to get into. They're not locked down like they were. So I've just found that out in the last few days that I can do that. Graham says, what did I get inside the envelope from Yoko? Well, I deliberately didn't mention this when I did my unboxing of the vinyl. I didn't mention it because I'd been asked not to. Then everybody else since has mentioned it and shown it, so it's kind of not a secret anymore. So other people have set a precedent here. Can you read that? The light's shining on it a bit much. There you go. So this was inside the vinyl, and it's a card, and it says, "Dear Andrew." It's got... I don't want to show you, actually, and I'm sorry for that, but I did get asked not to, so I'm not gonna, I'm afraid. But it is signed by Yoko, and I have Googled Yoko Ono handwriting, and it checks out. But there are other people, you know these people, they are popular YouTubers who have shown it, but I did get asked not to, so I'd like to kind of respect that, even though I've just kind of blown half of it there. Yeah. So, yeah, the Wings University stuff, there's false information out there about where the gig was and when it was, and I've kind of got proof of that now. I've been doing a lot of digging because I was kind of unsure myself. I thought there was a few things that didn't quite add up about what's been reported. In some places have got it perfectly right, I'll be clear about this, but there are some very well respected books, publications, and even the venue themselves who have got it completely wrong what happened. And I've got proof of that now. So I'm going to go and do a film, putting the record straight of what happened. Don't show it, Andrew. I haven't done. I'm not going to, I did get it, but I'm going to respect the fact that I was asked not to. So other people have done it. Liam Gallagher got one, and he was straight on there. Celestial, he described it as. So how did they get my address? Somebody sent me an email. There's ways for people to get in touch with me that are not difficult, and I got contacted to ask if I wanted to receive some stuff, which was absolutely brilliant. But it wasn't with any kind of it wasn't even on condition that I made a video about it, and it certainly wasn't with any conditions about what I could say. So for example, I got asked if I wanted this stuff, and I got asked for my address, and it was only after the deal had been done that I even mentioned, is it okay if I do some videos on this? And I was told yes. Do I have to wait for a certain date before you want me to? No, go and do it. And I got asked to be ruthlessly honest, or fearlessly honest, I can't remember which one it was, with what I said. So, I did point out a couple of things that that confused me or didn't quite sound right or whatever. So I did do that. Am I going to Beatle Week this year, says Joe? Is that the Liverpool one? Is that the one that you mean? I haven't been to Liverpool, the Matthew Street Festival, for years now. But I would like to. I'd certainly be up for it if they can get some good things going. Cheers, Sheffield and beyond. Thank you for the info about the Sheffield Records shops. I hope to be checking those out. See you later. Liam's trying to get Oasis back together. Well, there's an awful lot of money on the table for them to do it, but I don't think Noel's interested, is he really? I'd be up at the front of that queue for tickets for definite if they were gigging again. If anybody's got any final questions, send them through, because I am not far off finishing, folks. But let me know if you've got any final things before I go. They knew I was going to do a video, says Martin. They knew I was going to do it. Well, I'm sure it wouldn't have been a massive stretch of their imagination to suspect that I would do one or two, but like I say, the deal was done for this stuff to get sent to me before there was any mention of videos being done. So, have I toured London to all the Beatle places? I haven't, Graham. I've been to Abbey Road. I've not been in. I'd love to do that. But I've stood outside Abbey Road and I've walked across, but I've not really toured. There's still places in Liverpool that I need to do. I still need to go to the Casbah. And especially once they've finished renovating it and you can stay in it, that's going to be they're busy doing that at the moment. But no, there's a lot in London that I could still do. I was on a bus tour in London, a sightseeing tour about, when would it have been? I can't remember. 4 or 5 years ago, and we did go past the Bag of Nails club where Paul met Linda. So that was pretty exciting, but I didn't know. I knew roughly where it was going to be. And I saw it as we went past, but I didn't plan that one. Was the university tour recorded or filmed? No, I don't think any of it was. I mean, there's a few photos knocking about, and that's about it. I'm not aware of any audio from it at all. You thought BDI was great, Tim? I did. I love BDI. I went to see BDI live, and they put on a great show. They were really good. What's your favourite Radiohead album, says Neil? Well, I've kind of got two answers to this. My favourite Radiohead album is The Bends. I think that album is perfect. There's not a thing you could do to that album to make it any better. And I don't think I can say that about any other album I've ever heard. Ever. The Bends is a perfect album. So it's my favourite. But I think OK Computer is a better album. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I just mean conceptually and as an artistic statement and as an album as a whole. The Bends is like just a phenomenal collection of songs. OK Computer as an album is just absolute genius. So I've kind of got two answers to that. Pavement's been in Abbey Road. Friend of mine went to Abbey Road a couple of years ago, and A Day in the Life piano, he got to play the chord. Ding! He got to play that on that piano, which would be pretty cool. So that would be good. Denny Sywell answered your question about the university tour today. Are you able to tell us what that question is, Oliver? Or is that something you want to keep to yourself? But if you are able to say, that would be good. Hi there, Seal. Do I like Queen, and what's my favourite album? I assume you mean my favourite Queen album. Yeah, I love Queen. But I'm not... I think Queen were a miles better singles band than an album band. So it's not that often that I would put a Queen album on. But something like Queen Greatest Hits is like the best Greatest Hits album that's ever been out. So it's a bit of a weird one for me to say my favourite album. So, I mean, obviously Night at the Opera is great, but I don't really play it very often. I'm more a singles person with Queen, to be honest. Ruby says the Beatles London walking tours with Richard Porter, they're the ones that I want to do. At some point I will go to London and I will do a Richard Porter tour. He's been doing those for decades now, hasn't he? That's the thing that you want to do for anybody going to London, is get on one of those. I think he does them on a Saturday, doesn't he? That's certainly what he used to do anyway. Thank you, Tyrone. Cheers for your comment there. Okay, Oliver, you asked Denny about what happened on the university tour. Was that just in general what he remembered about it? If you've got anything interesting to tell us about his reply, that would be cool if you feel you can. What's your favourite Beach Boys album, and am I looking forward to Feel Flows? My favourite Beach Boys album is Pet Sounds, and after that it would be Surf's Up. Feel Flows, what is that? Is that a new documentary or something? I'm not sure whether I've heard about that. Have I heard about that? I'm not sure. I did notice, though, for anybody in the UK, on the BBC iPlayer, Love and Mercy, which is the movie about Brian, and it kind of sort of splits its time between the sort of Pet Sounds era and just before, and a sort of a more 1980s, when he's under the influence of Dr. Eugene Landy, that kind of era. That's a great film, but that's on the BBC iPlayer at the moment. I noticed that earlier today. Mike's found some Wings Nottingham 72 audio. That was the first gig, wasn't it? That was when he was heading up the motorway, and he went to Ashby de la Zouch because he liked the sound of it, but of course they don't have a university, so he went to Nottingham, which was the nearest one. Okay, interesting. That's good. Feel Flows is a 1969 to 71 sessions box. I don't think I knew about this. I'm going to have to look that up, I think. Interesting. Yes, Love and Mercy is an incredible film. The other one on BBC iPlayer is Whiplash as well. If anybody's not seen Whiplash, that is a phenomenal film about a young jazz drummer who goes into like the leading jazz school, and it's all to do with... Well, I'm not going to give too much away, but that is an incredible film. If you're interested in jazz at all, Whiplash is a phenomenal film. Yeah, cool. Right. Guys, I've already done 40 minutes more than I thought I was going to be doing here, so I'm going to wrap it up now. I want to thank everybody for all your comments. It's been wonderful as always. You've kept me busy, you've kept me sweating, you've kept me hot and bothered. But it's been fun, and I think I've covered pretty much everything I intended to cover. So what am I going to be doing soon? I don't know. I have no idea what I'll be doing soon, but I'll be doing something soon, so stick around, and I will see you very soon, and take care, everybody. This is me signing off. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.